What's going on, guys? PlotArmorCards in the house, and today I am back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel profile and another couple of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel duels. Now, this one is going to be for my Ancient Gear deck that I just recently built. I completely ran out of gems, so I had to make a new account. So this is why you might see certain cards that you've seen me before in the past have. I don't have some of those cards in this account. For example, I only have one Ash Blossom so far. I will work on getting two more, but I only have one. It's better than nothing, so I just put it in this deck. So in this deck, I run 3 copies of Ancient Gear Hunting Hound. The Ash Blossom, I run 1 copy of Ancient Gear Box. I might have to change this to 2 because this has been pretty helpful for me. 3 copies of Ancient Gear Wyvern, 3 copies of Ancient Gear Frame, 3 copies of Ancient Gear Beast, 3 copies of Ancient Gear Golem, 1 copy of Ancient Gear Gadgetrod Dragon, which, by the way, I don't know if I should keep this in the deck just because it hasn't been that helpful for me. 2 copies of Ancient Gear Golem Ultimate Pound, 1 copy of Raigeki, 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 1 copy of Overload Fusion, which I have yet to draw. I have 2 copies of Ancient Gear Workshop, which has been pretty good for me as well. I play 3 copies of Ancient Gear Catapult. I play 3 copies of Ancient Gear Fusion, 3 copies of the Field Spell Gear Town. I haven't gotten Terraforming yet, but I would put that in this deck too if I had the chance. 3 copies of Ancient Gear Fortress, 2 copies of Mirror Force, and 1 copy of Ancient Gear Reborn. Ancient Gear Reborn, I would definitely sub out. So if I'm using one more copy of Ancient Gear Bucks, Ancient Gear Reborn is probably what's going to go. Mirror Force, I might just switch that for Threatening Roar or Webaku just to make sure, But for the extra deck, obviously there's a bunch more cards I can put in this, but I lack the UR CPs in order to do it. So I got 3 copies of Ancient Gear Howitzer. I would recommend 3 of these. Ancient Gear Megaton Golem. I would recommend 3 Chaos Ancient Gear Giants. Probably 3 of these as well. I would also... There's one more Ancient Gear Fusion card, I believe, but I haven't been able to pick that one up either. So this is what I'm looking at for my deck. So first of all, I drew. This is why I don't like to play many copies of Gadgetron Dragon because it's usually a dud in the hand. But I play Wyvern, use that to add Ancient Gear Fusion in my hand. Then I fuse the 2 in my hand in order to summon Ancient Gear Howitzer. And this thing is, I like to use it for burn damage mostly. So that's done. And then I'm hoping for it to be destroyed so I can special summon monsters back. And this person, he's playing Blue Eyes White Dragon, but he uses Mausoleum of White. I've noticed a couple people are starting to play more Mausoleum of Whites when it comes to Blue Eyes White Dragon, which isn't bad because I know the tuners in that deck work really well with each other, and I think they're a little bit faster with Mausoleum of White because you can summon twice, I believe. So right off the bat, he summons out 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons, and then he goes straight into Twin Burst, which is gonna be a problem for me because it can't be destroyed by battle. So I'm going to use Mirror Fortress right away on it. And then it turns into my turn, and I draw Ancient Gear Catapult. And then obviously I'm going to get the burn damage go right away. And then I actually misread the Ancient Gear Ballista. I thought I could destroy a face-up card I control and a face-up card he controls. But it's monster specific, so I wasn't able to use this effect, and that would have popped off more combos for me, obviously. But then I just go ahead and destroy his monster, and he's going to go ahead and use this effect to summon. I'm a little bit surprised he uses Abyss Dragon, although it's a lot more popular these days, though. So then he's going to add Chaos Form to his hand. And then from there, he just sets another one, and then uses his monster in the graveyard to banish it to add his Blue Eyes to his hand. He's then going to show me a Blue Eyes, and then he's going to use Chaos Form. And this part scared me so bad. I thought it was over. But my one hope was my fusion monster that had more attack. So then he destroys that, and then he attacks directly. So I still got hope. The one thing I was afraid of was my fusion monster. Or not being able to summon my fusion monster. Because that has 4,500 attack, and it can attack all his monsters. So if I can get that off, I should be good to go. So then I summon, or draw Ancient Gear Hunting Dog, and then I use this thing. Then I could summon 2 of them. This allows me to add another monster to my hand. I'm going to add, I believe it was, Ancient Gear Box. Ancient Gear Box allows me to search for and add a monster with 500 or less attack to my hand. I only have one that fits the category, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to fuse right away. So Ancient Gear Frame, And then I normal summon this, use this effect, he takes 600, and then go straight for the fusion. And go right into Ancient Gear Chaos Giant. Now this can attack all his monsters and does piercing. So automatically I attack that, 4 grand. And then I can attack his Chaos Max for the dub. For this next hand, usually you don't want to draw Ancient Gear Catapult by itself because it's useless by itself pretty much. You want to draw either the field spell or the continuous spell with it. But I drew Ancient Gear Wyvern. I'm going to use this effect to add Ancient Gear Fusion to my hand, and then I can use it to future summon this thing. And I kind of like to use it defensively more. So he takes a grand from its effect, and then I'm just going to end. And then whenever he destroys it, I guess I can special summon pretty much anything. And he summons Demise King of Armageddon. Now, after this thing is destroyed, I didn't summon anything too strong because I assumed he would use his effect to just nuke it anyway. So then I use Ancient Gear Wyvern to add Ancient Gear Fortress to my hand, which works really well with Ancient Gear Catapult. Now, then I drew Ancient Gear Workshop, which is actually really good because that allows me to add that back to my hand. Then I'm going to play Ancient Gear Fortress. Then I'm going to normal summon Ancient Gear Frame. That allows me to add the Ancient Gear Fusion to my hand. And then Catapult. I discarded Catapult on purpose because I can use this effect from the grave to summon a Ancient Gear token. And then I can bring this back from the graveyard, which takes him for 1,000. And then I have 4 in the field, 4 monsters that are Ancient Gear monsters, so I can then special summon my boss monster, Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. And then I can just take care of his demise. And soon it will be his demise. So next, I'm not too familiar with this combo. He just plays Gingerbread House. And then he uses Gingerbread House's effect, and then he uses Renewal of the World. And then it's my turn. I use my effect. Then I have a field spell, and then yeah, I can pretty much just put an end to him. If by some chance he got rid of it, I had another Ancient Gear Catapult in my hand, could have damaged the field spell and just been done with him. So this guy's all decked out. Look, he has a pot of the jar, pot of greed, the changed field, and then the sleeves. So I'm thinking this guy's really good. He has some pimped out deck or whatever. So I try to play a little more defensively, but then he plays Skill Drain, and I'm like, no. But it doesn't really matter. So he negated Ancient Gear Hunting Dog's effect, but I still had an Ancient Gear Fusion in my hand. My intent was to play my boss monster, Chaos Ancient Gear, because it's unaffected by spell and trap effects. So I summon it, and then cannot unaffected by spell and trap effects. Yeah, but unfortunately, its effect gets negated because of skill drain, and I guess I just didn't know how that worked. And then, but this is why skill drain you kind of have to use very carefully because now his own effects are getting negated. He tried to destroy my card on the field or banish it, sorry, but he couldn't do anything. Then I just went ahead and just played it because it's a continuous trap. If he does anything to my monster this turn, then I can at least get away with it. Get away with summoning another monster. I don't think he can do anything because its only weakness really is against card effects, monster effects. Sorry, he can't use any spells and traps on it. But even though it's been negated, so maybe he could do something. But then he just pops off a bunch of combos. He's just summoning. And logically, what I'm thinking is he's gonna XYZ summon, right? So we XYZ summon it into number 97. Usually, I would detach a material from number 97 to number C101. I think that's the one that gets all that attack and can just attack. And then on top of that, he summons another one, and then he just ends. But his effect is negated, so he kind of played himself there with skill drain. So I just went ahead and took care of the one that may have been in the bigger problem if he managed to get rid of skill drain. And then next, my plan is to get rid of Blue Eyes Alternative, because that's if he gets rid of skill drain, I'm kind of screwed there. But he tried to use this effect. It was negated because of his own card. And then he summons number 38. But again, its effect is negated, so it's kind of useless right now. He can't summon anything in defense mode because my thing does piercing. And then I just go ahead and attack that too, and he calls it a day. Well, guys, thank you for sitting through my Ancient Gear deck profile on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, as well as 3 duels that I wanted to point out. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And oh my goodness, look at the time.
It's time to do